Good morning. Good morning. 6:21 a.m. Friday morning. Couple things. Um, as you guys well know, I'm not one to engage in certain topics, um, although they may be trending amongst the social media platforms. There's a level of respect I have for myself, more or less, because I can admit to being intrigued by certain scandals and what have you. But at the same time, to comment on everything to me seems somewhat irresponsible. Um, with that being said, there's certain topics going on across social media, and again, I'm not going to get into it, but I want to cover something that I would deem an umbrella topic. Um, how one is deceived by persons. How it happens. How does this happen, bro? Why is it that humans are so ready and willing to believe any and everything, especially when they have an invested interest in a certain outcome? Now, allow me to preface my comments with a level of humility, um, because again, a lot of the notes that I'm going to go over apply to myself as well. Because there's only a certain amount of truth that can come across the internet, um, digital waves, if you will. You can only be so honest from behind a camera, behind a microphone, and it's very easy to get entrapped in my first note, which would be perception. Perception. It happens just because you're human. It's a gift and a curse. A quote I posted on Twitter: any organism that is capable of perception is suspect to fall prey to deception. If you're capable of perception, you're in danger of falling prey to deception. Perception is simply how you engage with the world around you, obviously through your senses. Some argue there's only five. I would argue there's more. Um, Obviously, the more you add to that list of five, the harder they are to measure, such as discernment. Some call them vibes. Uh, the feels that your gut, your intuition. It's really hard to measure those. The outcomes tend to be hit and miss. But it's something to pay attention to in the grand scheme of how you perceive the world. Meaning, you don't take one by itself and just run off with that, and just say my gut told me to go invest in Bitcoin, invest my life savings, and on a gut hunch, I just invested all of it. When you have all these other ways of viewing the world, you must combine all of them. Correlation. How does this sense correlate to this sense, which correlates to this sense, which correlates to logic, which correlates to wisdom? Now, if they work, you have a well-founded quality decision, investment. Now, I'm personally intrigued by deception because it happens so often. There's no shortage. Just watching the YouTube channel, what's it called? ABC News. You have 60 Minutes. Everything Chris Hansen has done, and in the pedophile communities and what have you. You see this happening over and over again of someone either falling prey to deception or being the deceptor and benefiting. Ponzi schemes, timeshares, Jesus. There's no shortage of it. One human taking advantage of another human. Is that good or bad? That's not up to me. Unfortunately, it's not up to me. The question is, why do we find so much pleasure in doing so? What's going on, Danny? There's no shortage of someone who wakes up and says, how can I deceive someone else to benefit myself? So back to the first point. Deception is usually a result of perception. Deception is usually a result of perception. Something you think you see, something that you perceive to be reality could be wrong. One of the most important questions you can ever ask yourself is, what if I am wrong? It's a question of accountability. The issue with your belief system is that you must question it, even if you were raised to believe it, even if you have evidence that it's true. You must consistently and constantly critique it, searching for evidence, for truth, for laws, for principles. And a lot of times we get caught up in our emotion. And again, allow me to dispel this right now, because I can hear the critics. Emotion is useful to all human beings. All of us. We should be valuing our emotions, not to be confused with feelings. Every feeling is not an emotion. Because you feel cold, because you feel hungry, you can feel jealousy. You can feel anything. That does not make it an emotion. Leave that there. So, with that being said, the debates between rationality, logic, and emotion, we need both. It's not either or, it's both and. We need both. The issue comes down to prioritization. Which one do we prioritize first? And of course, it really depends on the given situation that you're encountering. Which one comes first? If you're doing a math problem, you do not need your emotion first. Let me throw that in there. You should not be prioritizing emotion over rationality or over logic or simple mathematics, the laws of mathematics. You should be prioritizing your rational mind first. And rationality can include emotion. It should include emotion. But typically, especially when it comes down to dealing with, traumatic events, we tend to separate the two. We either go pure emotion and we just cry our life away, and we just wallow in our self-pity. And then some people like myself, we go pure pragmatism. How do I just step one, step two? How do I fix this? How do I fix? What's the root cause? What caused this? How do I prevent this from happening again? And but we need both. Sometimes you need a hug. Sometimes you need to address the chaos in your life from a logical standpoint. We need both. We need both. So yeah, deception. Sometimes our reaction to it is involuntary. Sometimes we want to believe in something, so therefore we do. Therefore we are deceived, and it's just a smooth process, because a lot of our wiring to combat deception, and this is part of my notes, is it requires patience. One of the greatest tools to deception is patience. It's waiting. It's outlasting. It's studying. One thing you're gonna notice about humans is that if you wait long enough, they will make a mistake. If you wait long enough, because we're human, it's part of our makeup. We are not perfect, none of us. So you have people like myself who come on the camera and we talk and we give advice, we give perspective, we give counsel, we give our opinions. And some people, because the advice might be well-founded, it might be accurate, it might work, we immediately put them on a pedestal, which again is based off perception. No one is coming on this camera showing just pure flaws. You guys can see roughly 24 degrees of this room based on the camera lens I'm using. It's a 16 millimeter on a crop sensor, so it works out to about 24 millimeters full frame equivalent. You're able to see about 24 degrees of this room. That's perception. You're perceiving what I'm giving you. This is how you perceive my room to look, because you've never seen any other angle. This is all you can see. You don't know what's on the floor. That there was a meme going around. I believe it's like a cover of a book, or it was a parable illustration, if you will, all over the internet. But it was basically a viewpoint of someone's room, basically depicting how a lot of us are living our lives from a camera view of this is all you get. You don't know what's behind. I can't reach it. I can't reach it. You don't know what's up there. You don't know what's down there. You can't see it. That's perception. Therefore, technically, because of the lack of context, deception is taking place. It happens all day long. The news is perception based on how you interpret what you're viewing, what you're hearing. Deception is technically taking place. How do you combat that? Research, patience, wisdom, considering the source, listening to sources that you don't agree with. If you have two biased, news platforms, listen to both. Somewhere in the middle or somewhere completely outside of both is the truth. And a lot of times the pursuit of truth is uncomfortable, therefore we don't pursue it. It's a lot easier to just find your favorite platform and have them tell you what you want to hear. And a lot of us do that. I can't even cap, including myself. Sometimes I don't want to hear the opposite opinion. Sometimes I just want to hear I was right. Sometimes the only thing I want to hear is, Isiah, you should go buy that candy because, and of course, there's easy ways to rationalize it. You can Google anything. What are the benefits of alcohol? Oh, it's a natural sedative. It'll help you sleep. You can find that on the internet right now. What are the benefits of drinking and driving? Well, it makes you less reactionary because your response time is slower. Like, the internet will give you exactly what you're looking for. You have to have a question. What are the benefits of cheating on my wife, cheating on my husband? What are the benefits of murder? I'm sure someone wrote an article. There's a blog for something. Confirmation bias. We go in pursuit of what we've already decided to do. It's crazy. We go in pursuit of what we've already decided in our heart and our mind. This is what I'm going to do. I just got to go find something to help me rationalize this decision. It could be the right decision. It could be right. But the foundation of your decision is faulty. You can't defend it properly because you don't know the alternative. In most cases, you won't know the alternative to your decisions. Obviously, when you do something, you know the consequence of that decision, good or bad. But to know the alternative, occasionally you might have someone else who might be close to and parallel to your life and see what they chose to do. You have a lot of people in the military, and we pretty much live parallel lives up until tech school. Most of us. We all go to Lackland or Keesler now, especially with COVID. We pretty much all have parallel experiences in the ASVAB, dealing with the recruiter, MEPS, basic training. It's pretty much all the same in most cases with slight variance until tech school when we're learning a different curriculum. Even then, it's kind of the same. It's kind of still parallel. And then you get to your first duty station, and that's where we kind of all branch off with our experiences. So in most cases, when I preach wisdom, I'm preaching from a place of, this is the most general advice for the most general situations that applies to most people. Wisdom in most cases is universal. Science in most cases is universal. Gravity applies to most people. Some more, more so. Some people like myself, we have 240 pounds of force pulling us down. Some people have 70. But in most cases, gravity, it's fair. So with that, and again, I have several notes that I just jotted down. That so we covered perception. We covered slightly confirmation bias. Going in pursuit of truth should be somewhat uncomfortable, mainly because it might make you question what you already believe, what you were taught to believe. You should be looking for evidence or the possibility of evidence that your opinion might be wrong. And a lot of us find out when we're old, in old age, that I was wrong for 70 years. How could I go through life wrong this long? No one corrected me. I constantly talk about the dangers of a part-time friend, dangers of a friend that won't disagree with you. A lot of us are going to wake up in our 50s, 60s, 70s realizing I was wrong about that thing that I held so close. That truth that I wanted, it was just my own truth, my own truth. I never questioned it. I never let anyone else question it. I searched the internet high and low to find someone that agreed with me, and they helped me rationalize my decisions for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And now I'm living with the results of that decision, and it's not the result I wanted. It's not the result I wanted. It's a dangerous reality to wake up in, realizing I've been attempting to pursue this, but my actions lined up with this end result. Now I'm unhappy. Now I have regrets. And again, I talk about regret constantly. Regret maps perfectly with old age. They go together. Regret is only valuable in your youth. You have time to correct it. But a lot of us go through life only searching for our own opinions repeated, that we wake up later in life realizing maybe I should ask a question. What if I'm wrong? What if there's an alternative? What if there's a different way? What if this is not efficient enough? What if this is not even effective? What if I'm just busy and I'm not actually getting results? What if there was an easier way to get, what if there was a more linear way? Question your beliefs. I must bring this up, especially in relation to confirmation bias. A lot of times we go after the person, the messenger, and in some cases it's valid. In some cases it's necessary, because of course you should be considering the results of the person you're listening to when it comes to getting advice, counsel. Notice on this channel, I very rarely go into areas I don't or I haven't lived. On this channel, I talk about two things: my successes and my failures. I have 100% experience in both. My successes and my failures. Those are pretty much the only two things I talk about. I do drift occasionally into the theoretical, philosophizing, if you will. Some things that are just kind of abstract in nature that there really is no answer, but it's just a stab in the dark. It's a great conversation to kind of muse around. But you won't hear me giving advice about real estate investing. I haven't done it. Do I want to? Yes. Do I suggest it probably be a good investment? Probably. But I'm limited to my experience when it comes to certain areas that I have no context on. I'm being deceived if I'm giving advice on something I haven't lived. I'm being deceived. Knowledge, it's necessary. But those who have wisdom have probably applied it already. So this channel is based on Air Force content. I've been through basic training. I've been successful in basic training. I graduated top of my class in basic training. Tech school, same thing. So just be careful. Failures are just as valuable as successes. They're just inefficient. Inefficient in relation to time. Because a lot of times we have to do something over with because we didn't do it right the first time. When I failed my first AFSC, I have all this concentrated knowledge on why you don't want to fail at AFSC, but it cost me more time than it should have the first time if I would have been prepared. Just a thought. Ignorance. This is probably just the biggest thing that tends to circulate the interwebs and probably where you live and where I live and just in surrounding areas. Ignorance is probably the easiest pathway into deception. Is that you did not know. I was watching some it's crazy. I was watching some police videos yesterday. I'm intrigued by what I don't know. I was watching some, I believe the channel is called Real World Cops. And it's just cop footage. It's just the GoPro or whatever they got on the chest. It's just watching cop footage. Watch people get arrested for DUIs and whatever. I did not know that it's illegal. It's a DUI to be drunk or intoxicated while driving an electric scooter. Had no clue. When it popped up on the sidebar suggested videos, I'm like, that can't be right. How do you get a DUI by riding an electric scooter? And of course, I went on to watch. It was 2 parts, and it was like an hour long total. And I proceeded to watch the whole thing. And I watched this lady get pulled over. She was going northbound or she was going southbound on a northbound one-way street in the road on an electric scooter. And after she took her blood test, she had like a 1.9 blood alcohol content. 1.9. It was pretty much over twice the limit of the legal amount. And she was charged with a DUI. I'm not sure if she was convicted or not. That's a whole nother thing, but she was charged with it. Arrested, booked, the whole nine. And I'm like, part of me agrees with the arrest mainly because she could have swerved in traffic and hit a car, or a car could have hit her. Being killed by somebody is probably just as traumatic as killing somebody, at least for the parties involved. So obviously there was a safety issue that the police officer was definitely right to address. But my question was, how is someone supposed to know that it's illegal to drive an electric scooter even on the sidewalk? Because, and again, with the wild part about all of this, the wild part is that this video took place in New Mexico, where I'm moving to, Albuquerque. And I was like, that's crazy. It's on the books. It's under state statutes. And of course, now I know this because I'm studying wisdom through somebody else's experiences. But under state statutes, any vehicle propelled either by gasoline fuels or electric power is considered a vehicle. Meaning a bicycle, I guess, it's legal to be drunk and ride a bicycle. I would assume probably not on the roads. But in the case of electric scooter, that's a DUI. Back to ignorance. I don't know how she was supposed to know that. But yet again, consequences. I think we all fall into this at some point. I posted a video, or I think I scheduled a video, about how I messed up on my follow-on. Yeah, I posted it this morning. Messed up my follow-on. Didn't know. Don't put Worldwide Volunteer on there. I should have known, but I didn't. Now what? I could have been going to Germany or the UK or Japan or Korea. But no, I'm going to New Mexico. Ignorance is not an excuse. You hear that all the time. The ignorance is not an excuse for breaking the law. Happens. Again, as long as we are operating off perception or any level of perception, whereas we see something and we perceive it to be true, it could be wrong. You have people that are colorblind and they look at the sky and they think it's red. It's not. It's not. You perceive it to be true. Your truth is 100% valid. You see the world the way you see the world in black and white or green or whatever. You're missing certain colors. But the truth of the matter is the sky is blue. It's unfortunate. So yeah, just be wary. There's nothing wrong with being curious, and it's why I spend a lot of my time just scouring the internet and learning. I love learning. Knowledge, when applied, becomes wisdom. But also, knowledge can prevent you from having to live certain experiences where it gets you concentrated knowledge, which is just too much. I'd rather watch her video, and unfortunate for her, it comes with consequences. But I would rather watch her video and learn about scooters and learn about the laws of New Mexico and the state statutes and avoid alcohol in certain contexts than go through it all myself. And now I know firsthand, hey, this is illegal. Can't do that. Another side note, like in Virginia, driving over the speed of 80 miles per hour, I believe, is considered reckless driving. which you don't want reckless driving. You won't be nowhere near it. You talking about loss of license, potentially. You talking about fines. And certain things you just don't know. And the way I found out about reckless driving charges in Virginia is I overheard at a Navy sale. I was at this volunteer event, and this Navy lady talked about her experience getting pulled over, getting charged with reckless driving because she was going 85. That's crazy. But luckily for me, I got the information via wisdom, mentorship, learning through someone else's experiences. Be mindful of that. It doesn't hurt for you to just go in search of knowledge. Go in search of knowledge. Videos you wouldn't normally watch. I study everything. Any obscure part of the internet, I've probably been there. Makeup videos, but they're talking about different topics. I'll go watch it. I'll speed it up to 1.75 because a lot of it just be a lot of drivel and and this makeup is this, and this, but there might be some content there that I need to know. Just learning how other people think. One thing I can point out that a lot of us probably don't pay attention to. Your lived reality will in most cases contradict truths that are based in deception. You live reality. Perfect example. If someone comes up to me and says, Isaiah, you know what? You should be a model. You should be a model. You are absolutely beautiful. I want you to model underwear for me. I want to hire you right now to model underwear. I'm going to respond with the following. I've been on this earth for 28 years. And not once before today, before this very moment, have I heard anything close to what you're talking about. Because in most cases, your lived reality tells you who and what you are. It can be off. It can be missing certain pieces of truth elements. But in most cases, your lived reality tells you your value in a given environment. It's not that they're wrong. It's not that they're lying. But a lot of times, you can see through deception or a lie if and when it occurs, mainly because you have your own lived reality to at least compare it to it. At least say, I've been on this earth for 28 years. I've never been called beautiful. It's never happened. I know the typical compliments I get. Raymond Isiah does not get complimented and advised to go into modeling. It does not happen. I know where I rank. There is a hierarchy. It's the truth. And so for me to go in pursuit of anything that's not even closer remotely related to what I've been living, of course, there can be, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people just have low self-esteem. And it's one thing to have low self-esteem and to be drop dead beautiful, just, oh my God, you're off the charts. And, your self-esteem is off. That's one thing. But I don't have low self-esteem. Not at all. Not at all. So the point of that analogy is to kind of point to how it takes all your senses, all your perception tools, if you will, compare them. Sometimes that is a simple way to exposing deception. It's a simple way. A lot of times, a lot of foods we eat, the way it tastes, they're trying to tell us something. There's a lot of YouTube channels that will talk about how plants, you have vegans that say, plants are, that they're natural and they're perfect for the body. But then you must pause at the question of, why do I deal with inflammation? Why do I get constipation or diarrhea eating certain plants? Some people think that because you're going to the bathroom a lot, that means you're healthy. Your body does that anyway. Your body's very intelligent. Your immune system is very intelligent. It's going to try to get rid of anything that's not needed in the body. And if it can't, if the liver can't do it, if the kidneys can't do it, you'll probably die. That's what poison is. That's why sugar, alcohol, they both go straight to the liver. They're trying to get rid of it. So you don't have to teach your body to eat or acknowledge what is healthy. People say on the carnivore diet, you get constipated, probably for a day or two. But if you're consistent, you go to the bathroom I went to the bathroom every morning when I was on carnivore diet. Every single morning. Nonstop. Because your body it just looks for patterns. Sometimes our lived reality is trying to tell you the truth, and we're pointing to concepts and belief systems that are the exact opposite. Which one do you believe? Who to trust? Cause and effect is a great teller of truths. Cause and effect. Do something, you get a result. I believe it's one of the laws of thermodynamics. I think it was third law. Every action has a reaction. You do something, you get a response from the universe. It's how they turn in space, is that they blow air out of one direction, and the response force turns the vehicle that way. There's no air, so you have to use force in order to, anyway. A lot of us are ignoring the responses we're getting from the universe and saying, I'm gonna keep trying it. Obviously, the definition of insanity, I'm gonna keep trying this until it works. Well, if it's not working, try something else. Or at least stop what you're doing. Put the shovel down. You're digging yourself in a hole. Stop digging to get out of that hole. That doesn't make sense. I'm gonna keep digging so I can get out the hole. What? Your reality, your lived reality. That's the purpose of history, is to tell you about your past victories and past failures. Why is it that we can be looking reality straight in the face and say, I'm going to keep doing this to get a different result, when historically there is no exceptions, and even exceptions don't disprove the rule. The purpose of precedent is to tell you what happens normally. The purpose of science is to tell you what occurs normally in the universe. On a normal day, the sun should rise. It should set at some point. It's going to rain if the sun is evaporating water. At some point, it's going to become a cloud. It's going to precipitate upon the earth. The water cycle continues normally. Under normal conditions, this is what occurs. In Alaska, when it's very, very cold, it does not snow. But when it warms up, gets closer to 32 degrees, it does snow. That's what happens normally. When I go into the ocean, that's where sharks live. So under normal circumstances, I should be expecting to see a fish of some kind out in the water. So in which case, I'm not surprised when I do see a shark, and I don't scream shark like I'm surprised to see one. That's where they live. A lot of our lived realities are trying to scream at us, this is not working. Do something else. Make a different decision. Make a different decision. A lot of people around us are telling us the same thing that does not match our lived reality. If I want a certain end result, and all the counsel from around you is telling you, hey, just do this and you'll get that. You do it, it doesn't work. You go back to that same person. That doesn't make sense. You're willingly being deceived. Why? What else we got? I touched on this previously. Patience reveals deception. Patience is the enemy to deception. Waiting. Just wait. You wait long enough, the truth tends to emerge. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just wait. Wait long enough. Before you invest, just wait. Slow down. Obviously, opportunities are not always cyclical. Sometimes they come back around. You have angel investing where you have one opportunity, phase one, or the A round of angel investing where, hey, you want to get in on this? Nope. All right, we'll come back to you. Go somebody else. They invest 100 grand, whatever. And then second round of investing. Hey, this is our second round. Do you want to invest in our company? No, I'm good. All right. Third round. Listen, this is the last time I'm going to ask you, do you want to invest in our company? All right, fine, cool. That's 100 grand. Twitter blows up. Facebook blows up. You get a return on investment. Well, not every opportunity comes back around and around and around and around. Sometimes you get once. But sometimes it's best to just... Sometimes doing nothing is the answer. Sometimes. Not to be confused with indecisiveness. I had a comment that kind of pointed this out. Indecisiveness is not the same as doing nothing. Doing nothing is a decision. Indecisiveness turns into regret, wishing you would have chosen to do nothing or do something else. Slight variation. Patience. Slow down. Slow down. You shouldn't be in a rush to get to something. Gary Vee talks about if you want something too bad, you're in trouble. If you want something too bad, you will cut corners, thinking that your end result is the same as if you were been patient. Those who are not patient will end up settling for a copyright, a replica. It's close. It's close enough. And settling, of course, assumes you have options and the option to choose. A lot of people think they have leverage, and you really don't. You really don't. But wisdom, it takes wisdom to discern whether or not you have the leverage you think you have. Again, a lot of people are deceiving themselves. And that's probably the worst type of deception, is being deceived by yourself. You're self-inflicting deception. I'm going to save my favorite for last. That's my favorite. Here's one. I talk about this often. Seduction. Seduction that takes place in the form of marketing. Seduction takes place everywhere. Everywhere. Seduction is simply the point. It's just pointing to leverage. That's all it is. Leverage. They have what you want. Therefore, they're playing on your emotions. Robert Greene talks about this in his book, The Art of Seduction. But you see it everywhere. I talk about this in relation to the Air Force and how you can see a commercial and you say, wow, look at that plane flying upside down and doing stuff and shooting stuff. And I want to do that. So you join enlisted. What? You didn't know that to fly that plane, you have to be officer? That's great marketing, but it's deception at the core. Is it at the fault of the Air Force that you didn't know? Was it your own ignorance? Were you targeted? Who knows? But wisdom is saying, I need to look at the qualifications of who gets to fly a plane, to remove that middle ground of assumption. Assumption leads to what? Potential deception. It's the same thing. The same thing. I'm going to assume that I'm right. Did you do any research? Yeah, you ask a question. It leads to deception, which leads to regret. And again, the point of a quality decision is to avoid regret and therefore deception. Seduction, again, you see it everywhere. You see it in marketing. You see it on every single commercial you watch has deception built in. The music is there for a reason. It's not there just to make the words flow properly. The music is there because music does not communicate to your rational or your narrative mind. It goes straight to your subconscious. Because we acknowledge music being a language, a universal language. It's a universal language that goes straight to our subconscious, and we interpret the feelings associated with this music. Listen to hip hop, and you listen to it long enough, you will be angry about something. You will want power. You will want control. It's the feelings associated with hip hop. Listen to rock, classical rock. At least my favorite genre. Make you want to go fishing, camping. Country makes you just want to go fall in love, but not lose your truck and your dog. But then you might lose your job and fall in love. And listen to gospel, it gives you hope. Again, these are without lyrics. You can discern a feeling without being told what the song is about. Music it communicates directly to your subconscious. So when you have a commercial that includes music, and they're telling you, "Welcome to Cialis," or whatever they're trying to sell, all manner of pills and prescriptions, and of course they're showing you B-roll of people running through a field and just sun is so bright and this is beautiful, and families hugging, and they have this beautiful house in the background and a nice car, and of course those are product placements, deception. They're communicating to your subconscious mind, and you watch a movie and, oh my God, this person lives in Atlanta and they have a Rolls Royce and they walk in the house, and that they're planning a narrative in your mind. That's all deception. Behind every deception, there's an intent. There's an intent. Everyone is selling something. Everyone is selling something. It's up to you to find out what they're selling. During this video, I'm selling my mind. I'm selling my mind. Why? To make money. To make money. Straight up. Straight up. Everyone is faking it, especially those who say they aren't. Everyone is faking it, especially in regards to social media. Everyone is faking it. You're being deceived if you believe that people are living what they portray on social media. You're in a rush to catch up to people who are faking. You're being deceived. You're in a rush to go join this career field because you think that it's going to change, it's going to fix this area of your life. You're being deceived. It's fake. It's missing context. You're missing the big picture. It's missing information. People join the Marines and they see the uniforms and, oh my God, the boys sharp, them girls sharp. You're missing context. Who's posting pictures of them in their uniform, sweeping floors, mopping, digging ditches, crawling in the prone position, getting that uniform dirtied up? Extra duty, CQ. I haven't seen one single post anywhere on social media of someone being proud to be on 24-hour CQ in the Army. You don't see it. You see it on Snapchat where people are complaining about being on 24-hour CQ. But who's proud of that? People ask me, Isiah, what kind of plane do you fly? When's the last time you flew into battle and you saved countless lives? And I'm like, Brad, there's part of me that doesn't want to correct them. I'm like, That's their business. Don't correct people and take them out of their delusion. Let them live where they're living. If they see you as this hero, that's not your business, bro. I tell people I worked at the Pentagon, and again, people just, oh my God, he knows the the secrets of what goes on, the papers and the brown paper bag documents and the suitcase chained to his wrist. He sees stuff. The UFO release footage from the Pentagon. Isiah knows stuff that he can't tell us. What, he's deployed? He's been to war. Isaiah's been to Abu Dhabi and Dubai riding jet skis. He was deployed. Deception. Because as long as there's context missing, any vlog you see, it's edited. It's edited, people. Most of our lives, when we try to put it in internet form, the second we try to place our lives, it's amazing that a lot of people don't know this stuff. The second you try to take your life, your real life, and place it on the internet, it's now edited. It's now missing context. Therefore, whoever views it will be deceived by it. So a lot of us catch feels when we watch me or we watch any other YouTuber, we watch anybody on YouTube or on the internet, on social media, and we just say, oh my God. Oh my God. And it's fake. It's fake. It's close. It's in the vicinity. It's a snapshot, but it's not the full picture. And therefore, if we make a decision based off anything that's not the full picture, our results may vary. Imagine, a pilot, B-52 pilot, bomber, and he's just flying around with a model map or a globe in his hand. He's like, all right, I think we're over Africa. So somehow we're going to hit that. No. Because we're over the Middle East, we're just going to aim at that general area and hope we hit the target. No. We're going to spy over Russia, so we're just going to aim at Asia area. You're off. You're not even close. And I've tried to make this platform, this YouTube channel, in pursuit of the closest thing to accuracy in regards to making a decision to join the Air Force, going to college. Again, the advertisements for college, it's all you see is the beautiful buildings, the manicured lawns, the parties, the sports teams. You don't hear anything about student loans. Anything until you get to the admissions office and you're signed on the dotted line. Deception. It happens at all levels, at all times, especially when it's taking reality and trying to transform it into the internet form. It's edited, it's missing context. Therefore, you must do your own research. You must seek mentorship, seek wisdom, ask somebody who's lived it. Go ask somebody who's lived it. They will give you the context that you're missing. And even that is through their own perception, which leads to deception. It's an endless cycle. It's good stuff, though. All right. A couple more things. Those who are emotional will surrender first. Those who are emotional will surrender first. Again, emotion tends to be a reaction to what we perceive to be true. Emotion can be deceiving. You see it all the time with tears. Why is it that when we're watching a movie and somebody, dies in the movie, you see the puppy get ran over or something, or, and then you see the owner of the puppy in the movie start crying and they're weeping for their lost loved one, and then now we're sitting in the back. I'm all right, bro. I'm all right. I ain't crying. It's perception. It's empathy. Be mindful of that. Be mindful of the fact that you're in charge of your emotions, not the other way around. You're responsible for interpreting your emotions, your feelings. It's your responsibility. The second you take your emotion and your feelings as truth and you just run with it, you just say, because I feel cold, I must do all these things. Like maybe it's your fault you're cold. Maybe the room is hot and you have a fever. Maybe your perception is leading to your own deception. Just be mindful of the emotions, that it must be prioritized properly within certain contexts. At a funeral, that's not the time to be logical. That's the time for emotion. Cry. That environment is designed for it. The protocols of that environment, that they allow for tears. It's expected. Death is not something you should be, stoic in. Obviously you should be showing strength for your loved ones, and got it. But yeah, that's not the place to go on. Like if I'm giving some thoughtful words to the the grieving family, that's not the time to like, all right, now how y'all in here crying? Don't you know you gotta go to work tomorrow and y'all in here wasting time? They're gone. Why would you weep for somebody who's gone? Like, and now you're judging from the past mistake. Well, that's not time for logic. It's time for tears, time for hugs, time for empathy. But then when you're you're in the lab, trying to figure out, can we duplicate this lamb into another lamb? We're going to clone it and we're going to break bread on it. Well, there's really no need for emotion in that environment. Like there's certain environments that don't require any emotion. Don't require how you feel. Sometimes it's just what you think. If I ask you what you think and you tell me how you feel, I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you that. I asked you what you think. Your thoughts are separate from your emotion, although they do influence each other. But again, your thoughts tend to be a result of what you perceive to be true. Your feelings tend to be probably more accurate in result of what you perceive, but they still have to be interpreted by your thoughts, by your mind. It's interesting. And lastly, favorite of all the notes I took. Lastly, we have, you don't truly know someone until they have the opportunity, to benefit by hurting you. I'll read that again, so I jacked it all up. You don't truly know someone until they have the opportunity to benefit by hurting you. I'll read it one more time because, again, I think this underlines, and it's a huge consequence in the result of broken trust. You don't truly know someone until they have the opportunity to benefit by hurting you. A lot of people might hear this quote and just immediately, it's just negative. You can't trust anyone. You don't truly know, like your best friend, your family. You don't know anyone until they turn down the opportunity to benefit by hurting you. And what I'm referring to in this quote is the potential human nature that a lot of us don't think exists until it's too late. A perfect example would be a divorce court. Because during the wedding, no one thinks about how would she or he, etc., treat me in the divorce proceedings if they have the opportunity to take half or more of my assets. And again, this applies to both sides. Whoever makes more. Divorce court hurts whoever makes more money. Doesn't matter your gender. Divorce court hurts whoever makes more money. Of course, assuming there's no well-drafted prenup. But yeah, how many people walk into a divorce court thinking they know someone and they walk out empty-handed? They walk out with less than they walked in with. And then like, how could they do that? They had no idea that person was capable of something. You see it in normal courts where someone gets convicted of a crime, guilty, the evidence is overwhelming, and you'll have the neighbors on the news talking about, I had no idea they were capable of such things. did you think your neighbor was capable of that? I had no idea my neighbor was capable of such things. And the fact of the matter is that humans are capable of amazing things, both good and bad. You'd be surprised what your friend is willing to do for the right price. Your friend is willing to betray you for the right price. Your family member would turn you in, betray you, lie on you, snitch for the right price. Your boy got drugs in the car? Whose drugs are these? There's a moment. There's opportunity. Whose drugs are these? You see it on Bakar. I love watching Bakar. You'll see this guy get in the front seat, his boy get in the back seat, and take off driving or whatever. And then of course, cops pop up. Oh, cops are here. And then there's one episode, this dude turns around and you're like, does anybody else want to drive? Like, anyone else want the front seat? Anybody wants to just drive for a couple more, 5 more seconds till the cops really, they shut down the car or whatever? It's an amazing reality to realize that somebody was capable of hurting you and you had no clue until it was too late. Now, what do you do with this information? Because again, I can hear your thoughts as far as if this is true what you're saying, that you don't truly know someone until they have the opportunity to benefit from hurting you. What do I do with that information? What I'm claiming is that it's a truth statement, meaning it's showing you the reality of everyone around you. Not that they can do it, or not that they will do it, but that they can do it. It's a reality statement, truth statement. Not everyone is trying to hurt you. Not everyone's trying to take from you. Not everyone is trying to benefit from hurting you. But there's a potential in everyone to do wrong. That's why I constantly believe in self-regulation, self-preservation. Do the right decisions for you and your family first. Because again, not everyone's in your favor. Not everyone's trying to help you get to where you're going. Some people are trying to get where they're going. Most people are trying to get where they're going. And some people are just willing to climb right over your head to get what they want. They're willing to lie to you, tell you what you want to hear. There's a lot of money to be made. And again, we see this on the internet right now, today, recent events. There's a lot of money to be made by telling people what they want to hear. There's nothing more dangerous than a friend that will not disagree with you, a mentor that will not disagree with you, a leader that will not disagree with you, a guidance counselor, an accountant, a CEO, a supervisor, a friend, a brother, sister, family member. Nothing more dangerous than someone who is unwilling to disagree with you. They disagree with everything. Your thoughts are right. All of it. All of it. You're not wrong. Never been wrong. I agree. Yes. Do that. Do more of it. Don't change. It's not your fault. You're not accountable. You're a victim. No, it's not your fault. It's everyone else. It's not you. No, bruh. It's not you. It's everyone else. Everyone else is the problem. You're the right person. Your environment made you do that. The world made you do it. It's not you. It's not you. Why do you keep taking accountability? Why would you take accountability? It's not you. It's everyone else. You're being deceived. And once again, we all fall prey to this, including myself. Because again, I have to see the world through my own perception. One thing I'm talking to my therapist about is cognitive distortions. Whereas what you think you see, the truth, that you think is true, could be wrong. It's like refraction that takes place in water. You think something is close. You think something's close in the mirror, but it's really far. It's really close. Perception. We must learn to control it as best we can. We can't turn it off, unfortunately. You can't turn off your perception and just see just black and white truth, absolute truth. Unfortunately, we have to interpret what we see, what we smell, what we taste, what we feel, what we discern, what we think, what we feel, how we engage. We have to interpret that. And that's the ability, thankfully, that's the benefit of having a mind such as the human mind. We're not animals. So we have the ability to interpret and to think and to discern and to think about thinking. Think about that. We can think about thinking. We can think about and criticize our thoughts before they become actions, before they become behaviors. We can stop at the thought and say, that thought does not line up with my goals, with my values, my principles, and try our best to stop them there, renewing the mind daily. That's all I want to talk about. Sorry I didn't get to all the questions, or any of the questions rather. But yeah, appreciate y'all watching. And yeah, just be mindful of these type of things. Again, you're gonna see a lot of stuff on the internet, a lot of narratives, a lot of critiques, a lot of judgments being made. Cool. That's what the internet does. The internet's very good at what it does. But when it comes to yourself, your own safety, your own long-term goals, short-term goals, be mindful of perception, deception, and how deception is going to find you in most cases. If you do nothing, it's going to find you. If you think about nothing, if you try to turn everything off, you try to just live through a nihilistic, worldview where nothing has value, nothing is dangerous, nothing is truthful, nothing is honest, you're being deceived even with that mindset. So just be mindful that deception, in most cases, it's a default position until you seek wisdom and truth. That's all I got. I will see y'all next video. Say what's good to your boy.